For many umpires, working the Little League World Series is a lifelong dream. Let's meet one of this year's World Series umpires, Jerry Westfall of California District 11.
I was working with the Forest Service in Quincy, California, and I got into air attack, which is called basically the air traffic controller in the sky over forest fires. Basically, I take my information and instructions from the person on the ground that needs the instant satisfaction of having some air resource come and drop a big bunch of wet stuff near him to stop the fire. That was the scary part for me, was you did what you could do and hope for the best. Well, actually, I've umpired for 35 years now. I was asked by who was the boss of the particular forest I was working on at the time, and when I was a little guy like me and the big boss comes and says, "You want to umpire?" you say yes, and you go do it. And I realized that, yes, I did like it. But I got into doing tournament baseball back in the early 80s. And then you start looking at the World Series and say, well, how do you get to go to the World Series? What you do is, once you're World Series qualified, then you apply. So I did that for 10 years, because in the West, you know it's going to take you 10 years. You're not getting rejected for 10 years. It takes 10 years. And then finally you get this letter. And here I am. It's just been totally rewarding. You know, otherwise, for 35 years, I wouldn't still be doing it. I have lots of kids that come back to me now as adults with their sons, saying, you know, you were my umpire. Excuse me. Get a little emotional about this sometimes. Just the amount of people that just come out to support this thing, and the kids, you know, and their reactions. I mean, they get to the field and they start crying. You know, we get to the field and we start crying. It's just, I don't know, it's a dream come true. You know, it's, I don't know how else to put it. It's just an absolute great feeling.
Although this is Little League, there's nothing Little League about getting hit with a foul ball. I'm happy to report that none of these umpires were seriously hurt.
Jacob Pate, the first baseman, steps in. He's the number 2 hitter, fouled into the glove, and it actually fell off the glove and hit the umpire, and the umpire is down and he is hurt.
That's a very well thrown ball that's fouled off. Got the umpire right underneath his mask, I think, right in the clavicle bone there.
Home plate umpire is Stephen Meyer. He's from Canada. Started umpiring at the age of 15, and all his fellow umpires and medical personnel are now out there to see how he's doing. And the fact that he was able to get up and get off of this field under his own power. But as he leaves, the conditions around the field have deteriorated as well. 22 years umpiring experience, and got a great round of applause. And again, all the umpires, the volunteers here at the Little League World Series. So we certainly hope for the best for Stephen Meyer, who leaves after taking a foul ball off of what appeared to be his clavicle. One more look at it.
Good fastball up off the bat and into his clavicle bone, and he went down. Luckily, he's feeling better now. Walked off the field, and as he walked off, the grounds crew walked on, Carl.